Have you ever asked yourself if the life you are living truly reflects who you are? Today, more than ever, we are bombarded with expectations, standards, and ideas of success that often have nothing to do with what really matters to us. In this fast-paced rhythm, we can easily lose ourselves, starting to exist according to what others expect of us, rather than what truly resonates within us. Nietzsche, the German philosopher, left us with a powerful and challenging proposition: to seek purpose not through what is convenient or common, but through what is authentic to each of us. He argued that living according to our deepest values and passions is the only way to achieve a full and meaningful existence. However, this journey requires courage and the willingness to question what society imposes as an absolute truth. Throughout this video, we will explore Nietzsche's invitation to discover what makes us resonate, to recognize the pressures of the herd mentality, and, above all, to find and follow our own values. If you could choose any path without the pressure to please anyone, what would you do? Nietzsche believed that the key to a fulfilling life lies in saying yes to what truly gives us meaning. This idea goes beyond doing what we enjoy. It's about identifying what deeply moves us and makes us feel alive. Saying yes to what gives us meaning is, at its core, an act of courage. Often what we desire seems to conflict with family, social, or professional expectations. Perhaps you want to pursue a creative career while your family insists on something safer. Or maybe you wish to travel the world, but the pressure is to find stability. These choices, though difficult, are the starting point for an authentic existence. To find what truly matters, Nietzsche challenges us to ask ourselves, what would I do if there were no judgments? What sparks a genuine passion in me, regardless of external opinions? By exploring these questions, we begin to distinguish our true interests from external impositions. This process isn't instant, but each reflection is another step toward a life more aligned with who we are. Try this exercise. List activities or ideas that make your eyes light up. It could be something you've always wanted to do, or a simple curiosity you've never explored. This yes to what gives you meaning may be the first sign of a more authentic life. And this is where the journey begins. But there's an inevitable obstacle: the herd mentality. That voice which, when we get closer to what we want, pushes us back to what's expected. Nietzsche knew that to live fully, we must also learn to resist what everyone else does or thinks. When following what gives you meaning, an inevitable challenge is the pressure to conform. Nietzsche describes this influence as the herd mentality, the tendency to follow the majority without question, adapting to norms and standards without reflecting on what truly matters to us. We live in a society where the desire for acceptance can lead us to act, think, and even dream according to others' expectations, and this quest for approval often distances us from our true selves. The herd mentality is not something we should merely identify, it's something we need to actively resist. Following our own path means challenging the norm and often accepting the risk of being misunderstood or criticized. Nietzsche reminds us that when we live to please others, we sacrifice valuable parts of who we truly are. He invites us to reject conformity and embrace individuality, to take ownership of our choices, and to value our own perception of what is meaningful. Consider, for example, the impact of social media. How many times have you found yourself comparing your achievements or life choices to those of others? This is the herd mentality in action, leading us down the same path as everyone else instead of exploring our own. Practice asking the question, is this choice truly mine, or does it reflect what the majority considers right? By questioning decisions we make automatically, we begin to separate what is authentic from what is imposed. This resistance to the herd requires perseverance and at times can be uncomfortable. But Nietzsche believes that by freeing ourselves from the pressure to follow the majority, we take a big step toward personal freedom. However, staying true to yourself is not an easy path. Self-discovery brings challenges and demands strength to face uncertainties. The journey of finding who we truly are and what gives us meaning is rarely smooth. Nietzsche emphasized that self-discovery is a challenging process, filled with moments of uncertainty and discomfort. In our pursuit of authenticity, it is natural to face internal and external resistance, confront doubts, and come across parts of ourselves that we may prefer to avoid. This is the price of freedom, and at the same time, the promise of a truer life. Embracing this difficulty is a crucial step, as the process of self-discovery often requires us to deconstruct ideas, expectations, and even versions of ourselves that over time we shaped to fit the world around us. Nietzsche warns that this path demands the courage to abandon truths that once seemed certain and yet imprisoned us. Each new discovery about ourselves can challenge the way we see the world, leading us to question relationships, career paths, and even life goals that once seemed solid. This is the point where many give up, returning to the comfort of the known. But Nietzsche believed that it is precisely in the difficulty that the potential for true growth appears. When we embrace the challenges and vulnerability of self-discovery, we learn to navigate uncertainties and strengthen our ability to face the changes necessary to live according to our values. A practical example: take some time to reflect on moments of internal conflict where you felt discomfort when making a decision. What was at stake? Were you trying to please someone or avoid a difficult situation? Often, it is in these moments of tension that we find the most authentic directions to follow. Nietzsche teaches us that self-discovery is not for those seeking only comfort. On the contrary, it is for those willing to embrace the complexity of their own existence. And by accepting this complexity, we gain something rare and precious: the ability to live according to our own values, free from the masks and conventions imposed upon us. Now that we understand the value of facing these difficulties, it is time to deepen our understanding and identify what constitutes our true values, the foundation of an authentic life. Now that we've explored the path of self-discovery, the final step is perhaps the most important: finding and living according to our true values. Nietzsche believed that in order to truly live with purpose, we need to identify the principles that guide us, that define us at our core. These values are not shaped by societal expectations, the herd mentality, or external pressure. They emerge from within, reflecting what we deeply believe and desire. The search for these values requires honest and courageous introspection. It's easy to fall into the temptation of adopting values that seem right or are widely accepted, but when we do so, we risk living a life that is not our own, just a copy or imitation. That's why Nietzsche challenges us to be creators of our own values. To do this, we must look inward, question what motivates us and what makes us feel that we are truly on the right path. A powerful exercise is to write a list of values you believe are fundamental to your life. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What principles guide my actions? What do I want to preserve above all else? Once you've listed these values, examine them carefully. Do they come from within, or were they imposed from outside? Do they truly reflect your essence, or have they been adapted to meet others' expectations? Finding your true values is not a quick process, nor is it always comfortable, but it is the key to living an authentic and fulfilling life. And once we identify and begin to live according to these values, life becomes more meaningful. The pursuit of fleeting pleasure and social conventions loses its power over us. Instead, we begin to make choices that reflect our true selves, bringing inner peace and clarity. Living according to our values allows us to achieve something Nietzsche called greatness. He wasn't talking about material success or public recognition, but rather the ability to live a life in harmony with our deepest principles. By finding and living our values, we attain true freedom, a freedom that can only come when we free ourselves from external expectations and align with our own truth.